Good evening, podcast world. Thank you for joining us on episode 2 of 2 for the Road. I'm Aaron Bell, one of your co-creators, and this is...
That would be Andy.
He's Andy this week, not Josephine.
Yeah, it changes.
It does. It does. Obviously, firstly, thank you guys all so much for... Our first episode's been up for just about a week so far, and it's far exceeded both my expectations and yours, Andy, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
I think we had a soft target in place, and
Yeah.
it's about 10 times that already across all platforms. So,
And we're big in the Far East.
specifically to our listeners in both the Philippines and Taiwan, we love you, keep listening, and we appreciate you. But yeah, I mean, it's been a great month for us anyway.
Aye, well, what, we're on the 2nd today, so it's not been that long.
And as our lovely viewers will hear, there's a lot more background noise this time. We are officially recording in Pinkertons on a Sunday evening.
Yes, we are. My cider is not on a squirrel coaster, it's on a tenant's coaster this time.
It is, and I don't actually have a coaster, so
There's one over there.
I now have a tenant's coaster. But Sunday night at Pinkertons in Glenrothes, we've obviously got punters in the background, all in good spirits, and it's a free pool night at Pinkertons in Glenrothes. So Sunday night you get a free game of pool. The table's free.
Didn't know that.
Did you not?
No.
Ah, see, there you go. Yeah, if you come in for a game of pool, apparently it's free. So
Nice.
we left last time. We were talking about 2024, 2025. I suppose where's the best place to start this time round? I mean, I'm thinking, we were talking about Marvel last time. I mean, I'm finally going to see the new Captain America next week. What do you think?
I'm looking forward to it. I don't know when I'll go and see it, but I'll see it eventually.
When it's on Disney Plus.
More than likely, yeah.
I was surprised you even went to see Deadpool and Wolverine, to be fair, but you did also go like 12 weeks after it came out.
I did, yeah.
8 weeks after it came out.
Something like that. We've all got busy lives, it's not as easy to get everybody together.
I thought you were going to use the age thing there, because I will go to a midnight showing of a Marvel movie, and obviously you guys are all like, well, we're too old now, we can't do it, it's not as easy to do it.
I never liked midnight showings anyway. I think I've only ever been to one, and that was when I was on my radio year at college, and I was over doing my work placement at Radio 4 in Edinburgh. Yeah. And Gemma stayed in Edinburgh at the time, so I stayed with her for the week. And while I was at the station during the day, there was some giveaway of midnight tickets to, it was Kill Bill Volume 2. So me and Gemma went to see that, and it was a good film in that, but we were sitting in the cinema going, we should have just stayed in the pub, eh?
I always thought you were at the Batman one that we went to in Edinburgh.
No.
Or the Harry Potter one that we went to.
I've never actually seen any of the Harry Potter films. I mean, I've seen them in the background when they've been on like Christmas Day or whatever, and Nicole's been watching them, but...
Yeah. But I think there's a reason I go to the midnight showings as well. It's because we have a friend that will ruin the movie for me if I don't go and see it first.
Yeah, true.
And that friend is Mark, and I love him to bits. And it's kind of become a bit of a war between me and him now for about 15 to 20 years.
Yeah.
He will literally ruin a movie for me. If he knows, he will literally phone me, leave me a message, or send me a video if he can. So, and that includes TV shows as well. So, there's a fear. I got him the best though. Was it Avengers: Age of Ultron and San Andreas when they came out? So we got tickets to see Avengers: Age of Ultron early. We got to see it in Edinburgh like 2 days before release, and when we went, it was like big security. It was like I think there was even politicians and everything that was there. It was like a big red carpet thing that they did in Edinburgh, and we got to see it 2 days before it came out. It was awesome, and I basically in a chat I was dropping little little quotes from Captain America, and I always just remember Mark watching the movie and just staring at me like, you're a knob. Because you realise that all these little things had been saying in the chat for like 2 days were getting said in the movie, and thus begun the war that probably I started in hindsight. But I don't know if I am or I am looking forward to this. I mean, obviously I used to go see them all with El, my son, and it's obviously the last sort of few years it's been you guys and Laura and me that have been going to see them, and it is slightly different. I don't know if that's why they're so bad now, or I don't see them with him, but it definitely, I don't know. I think the difference in quality in the movies and the fact I've not seen them with him, but in hindsight, I don't know. I feel like this is the point where they get better. Harrison Ford coming in as the General, the Red Hulk, and going back.
Hopefully. I mean, obviously it has taken a bit of a nosedive since Endgame. With a couple of highlights in there, and Deadpool and Wolverine was definitely, hopefully, the start of an upward trend again.
Yeah. I want to know why Thor's crying.
Oh yeah.
But I believe we'll find that out in 2027 with Secret Wars.
Right, because next year is Doomsday, and then
Secret
the following
Wars.
year is
So I'm assuming we'll find out then.
I would hope so. Has Chris Hemsworth not said that he's kind of stepping back for acting a wee bit at the moment anyway? I'm sure he will do Thor in the Avengers films and that, but
I think he's kind of lucky in the sense that, you know, if it's an Avengers movie, he's not carrying the movie, so he gets to come in and he doesn't have to do as much work. But he has said that that's a character he would like to keep playing.
Nice.
So
that's a character we'd all like to keep playing.
Yeah, I'm all for seeing like dead old Thor. Like I'm okay with that. But yeah, I think I look at the Captain America movie. Out of them all, I'm probably more excited for Fantastic Four because I know that's going to have a bigger lead into Doomsday because Doom's actually the main villain there. So, but Harrison Ford, Red Hulk, White House espionage theme back. The trailer looks good. I like Mackie. I think he's a brilliant actor. I think he's a great Captain America. So yeah, I'm worried naturally because how things have gone.
Yeah, and obviously you've got the first three Captain America films, and the last one of them was a while ago.
Yeah.
So there has been a bit of a. But then you've had the Falcon and Winter Soldier show on Disney Plus, so
which I liked.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm confident. I think out of the three of them, I think Captain America's the one I'm probably looking forward to the most.
I kind of feel like a lot like Marvel are really relying on Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan because he's obviously in Thunderbolts and Mackie's obviously got the Captain America mantle now.
Yeah.
And it's a lot relying on Florence Pugh as well with Thunderbolts, but this is the three where, you know, it's really on them now because these two movies it's on them to make it good. But
actually, yeah, I forgot about Thunderbolts. That's probably the one I'm slightly looking forward to more, but only just.
It looks more fun.
It does.
And the characters in it, like there's some of them in there where you just do not like them at all, and you're like, oh, it's just going to be a different style of Marvel movie, I think.
Did I dream it, or is Tim Roth not in it?
He probably is, because he is the Abomination. And,
yeah.
It would make sense for him to be in the Thunderbolts movie than.
Yeah, true.
I know we've got the leader in Captain America. So at the end of the Edward Norton movie, I think it's Tim Blake Nelson. He got the liquid stuff poured on him, and his head went massive, and he became the leader. And then there's never been anything since. So that's been over 10 years. So apparently he does make.
Well, it was no 2008. It was coming out the same year as Iron Man.
So what's that? 17?
Yeah.
17 years. So he's coming back in this one So that'll be interesting. A lot of people are going on about the reshoots and saying, oh, it's going to be a crap movie because they've done all these reshoots, but I kind of think that's them playing safe. Like, they're like...
Most films do that, do they?
Yeah, and I think as well that they've probably seen it and went, we need to make these changes because people are just not going to like it. As ultimately, they have to fan service at the moment because the fans are not happy.
Yeah, there is probably going to be an element of that.
Yeah.
Because of the kind of negative... the negativity around the MCU since Endgame, really.
And spoiler warning ahead, it goes back to what they saw happen with Deadpool and Wolverine. Look at the cameos that happened in that, and like how much people went bananas for it. Your Blade cameos, your Channing Tatum as Gambits. You've got all those things. So I think if you were Marvel and you were watching that last year, and obviously they went over $1 billion again, you'd be sitting there going, right, okay, this is what people are wanting. So,
yeah.
And that movie was made the year before, and it was getting edited, and they've done these reshoots. So we'll see. I'm booked in on the day. I'm at one of the first showings. We will see. It surely can only get better from here.
I would have thought so. I'm quietly confident.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think since Deadpool and Wolverine, I'm really hopeful that that's the start of an upward trend now. And obviously we'll find out this year because we've got Captain America, then Thunderbolts, then Fantastic Four.
Thunderbolts is my birthday, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's a few days before it, but
right.
It will be my birthday movie. Let me know when you're ready.
Yep, that is the very clear editing point that suggests I've been away for a pint.
So I was actually going to say to you, what was a high point in January for you?
Going to need to edit out all that silence while I think about it.
I was going to say, there's a lot of silence in there. Podcast.
Yeah, aye, and obviously we went through to Graham's last Friday.
I love going to Graham's.
Yeah.
We didn't actually do a movie for a change. We actually listened to the podcast.
Well, yeah.
Had good food and just sat and blathered.
Yeah, he did us a lovely tea.
He did. He's homemade breaded chicken and mushrooms.
They were lovely.
They were, eh?
They were probably my highlight of January.
Graham's homemade chicken and mushrooms.
Yeah.
I actually appreciate that because obviously I've been on the health kick. The hoodies baggier on me today.
Yeah.
So he made them for that reason as opposed to us doing a takeaway and stuff. So I appreciate him going out of the way and doing that.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have to. But yeah, that was a good night. In the middle of a storm.
Yeah, well it was dying down by then.
If you say so.
I did have to pick up all 4 of his bins, they had all blown over.
In perspective for those that don't know, Scotland was hit with a red weather warning. Andy was on holiday that day, and I was sent home.
I was getting my day back for working the Saturday before, yeah.
And I was sent home from work about 9:30. Storm kicked in about 10, 10:30, till about 5.
If you say so, I was still in my bed.
Yeah, till about 5:30, and we went through to our friends in Leaving, from Glenrothes to Leaving's about 5 miles. Give or take.
About that, yeah.
And then drove at 6:30 through to his. So, although it wasn't actually that bad, the roads were clear, but probably not the most sensible thing we ever did. But then we would not have experienced that chicken and mushroom.
Yes. And we wouldn't have got another set of ears on the first episode, because we're always going to have an extra person listen to it all the way through once I've done the final edit before we make it live or publish it or whatever. So yeah, Graham was our first third person.
He was our first third person. That's almost like getting a Scotsman to say purple burglar alarm. And there you go, purple burglar alarm.
Oh, I mind when I used to live down in London and my cousin Heather came down, we had a house together. We were out with a couple of her colleagues from where she was working, and they kept on just all through the evening getting us to say stuff. Like their favourite was Spice Girls. They kept on asking us to say Spice Girls because the way we said it just delighted them for some reason.
I would imagine that's what it's like if we went to America.
Probably, aye.
Because I know when I was in Florida, like, they really enjoyed my accent quite a lot, and I think if we were out there for a lengthy period, the accent would go down quite well across the. But just don't get us to say purple burglar alarm.
I've never heard of that being a thing, by the way.
Have you not?
I don't know that that's a phrase people ask us to say.
It's a very difficult one for a Scotsman to say. That's why I'm doing it very slow, so I don't embarrass myself. Not that I don't embarrass myself.
Purple burglar alarm.
There we go. And when you hear
What's
it back,
difficult about that?
when you hear it back, you'll hear it.
So when I'm editing, I'll be like, I sound like a dick. I don't get it though. I don't see what's hard about that.
Trust me, when you hear it back, that's why I'm saying it in 3 separate words as opposed to obviously in January, you and Bill are aware of this because I gave out 2 of my Green Army men.
You didn't give me one yet, did you not?
Yeah, you do. It's in your kitchen.
Oh yeah. Was I drunk when you gave me that?
No, you were like one of the first people. Wow. It's like, these are special things I'm giving out, and you're like, so it's part of
me. Put it on the bit above my sink where I've got that dream thing.
He was me thinking that was like a really nice gesture, so you weren't losing it because of what it meant, and you weren't drunk when I gave it to you either.
I honestly have no memory of that.
Wow. And he's had too many Magners. I actually gave it to you the night I think we filmed here.
Just started on my second, also for the record.
No, actually I gave it to you the night we recorded the second podcast.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to look out for it when I go home now.
Yeah, it's sitting there. So, one of the things I started in January, part of mental health, is that for people that are really close to me in my life, that people that I see maybe struggling, or people that I really, really love, I will be randomly giving them a little Green Army man. And it's something I saw in Ted Lasso, and he had his reasons to do it, and my reasons are basically to protect the people I love, and also if I see anyone down, to help them pick them back up, and for them to have it, it's just a wee reminder that there's always somebody there. I know myself that just even having that, like my son got me a Flash pop vinyl, and it sits with me at my work, and that just keeps me motivated. So these little army men are my way to help people I care about or people I love motivated, and give them that little bit of strength if I'm not there at the time, that they can just see it or have it on them, and it just reminds them. In January I gave one to Andy, who can't remember, and I gave one to Bill. And
what my memory is like? In 10 years I'll remember it exactly, and I'll say what I was wearing that day, and I'll be able to remember it all. But yeah,
at least Bill put it in the car. Like, Bill actually sent me a photo, and he's got it in his car, and he has it on the dashboard.
Nice.
Yeah. And I saw yours above your sink, and I thought, oh, he's kept it. He's doing what it's meant to do. So, but if you do get a Green Army man from me, it's just me trying to tell you I love you, and also inspire you or lift you up when you need it. Or if I see you struggling, just to give you that little bit extra strength that you need to get back.
Speaking about having personal items at your desk, did you remember my picture?
No. Little R's going to be so annoyed.
Yeah. I was on the phone to Aaron on, what was it, Tuesday night?
Tuesday night.
And little R was in the background, and she sounded a bit bored. So I said, well, got an idea. Go through and draw me a picture. Yeah, she had. That's why she was bored, because she'd taken her stuff off her. But I said, yeah, I've got an idea for you. Go and draw me a picture. So she did. Aaron sent me a photo of it later. And you and Slim were doing on Friday night, and you forgot it, and you've forgotten it again. So, funnily enough, I was talking to, I think I was saying to Mum when we were up Dundee yesterday about having, because obviously everybody's got like photos of their partners or kids or whatever on their desk. I've got a picture that Junior, Leon's Junior, drew me. I've got my Ant-Man pop vinyl that you got me for my birthday. I've got my wee squirrel that Alex gave me, and I've got like a devil trident thing that Mel gave me. But that's it in terms of like personal items. So obviously I'm going to put Little R's picture up on my desk
She'll love that.
when I finally get it, when you finally remember it.
My desk consists of a photo of Little R. I have a photo of my son and daughter SNL, and then I have my Flash pop vinyl he got me, and I've got a Baby Yoda that Little R got me, and yeah, I think that's about it. I did have an Iron Man mouse that when I left Wee Doors that Lisa got me. Mm-hmm. I say Lisa, everyone chipped in, but
Yeah.
I'm going to say that was Lisa.
She showed me when she was selecting it. It definitely was.
Yes. So yeah, I have that, but I don't think I've taken it in. So, but it needs to change the battery, so
Right.
just that. But yeah, that's what I've got on my desk there. But in hindsight, the reason that she was in trouble was she was annoying her mum, and she was making all the noise. So, as a responsible parent, telly was switched off, her phone was locked so she couldn't go onto it, and she wasn't allowed to go on the VR. This is the world we live in now.
Yep.
She wanted to go on the VR, and she wasn't allowed on the VR. Her phone was locked, and she wasn't allowed to watch the telly, so she had to do art.
Well, I gave her the idea of drawing me a picture.
And as you heard, she had taken that and she'd actually ran with it. Although ask her to tidy her room when this is happening, and that'll never ever happen.
I'm not going to suggest that. That's a rubbish suggestion.
Oh no, I constantly at her to try and tidy her room, and she just looks at me like, yeah, that's not happening. I went in, so she got a gymnastics bar for Christmas, and it's in her room. It's because she loves gymnastics.
What's a gymnastics bar?
Literally, I'll show you. It's big, but it folds up. So, and she's got a big mat, and she puts it all out. But she will not put it folded. It takes 2 seconds to fold it back up and put it in the corner, and it takes up no space. But no, it's got to stay folded out for it take up like the whole room.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so although she's been impressed that I go and pick her up for gymnastics the last 2 weeks. So. And she's doing exceptionally well. So
I did gymnastics when I was in, I think, primary 2 up Narborough. I loved that.
That does not surprise me with you. Small and flexible.
Did trampolining as well. Loved that. I loved that more than the gymnastics. I think I even did that when I came down to Glenrothes as well.
I've actually got photos of you and little Lara on the trampoline up at Carnegie Farm, I think.
Kearney Fruit Farm.
That's it.
Aye. I think you do.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a brilliant day. We were on absolutely everything. You guys just sat in the middle on that big hay bale.
There's no way I'm getting on a trampoline, Andy. Let's look at me. There is no way I'm getting on that trampoline.
I don't think there was a single thing we didn't go on.
No.
Yeah. Or she didn't go on while I kind of was there. Like, there was stuff that was designed just for kids, obviously, but...
You still got on them, though.
Some of them, yeah. What was the one? Oh, we went down that shoot about 40 times, mind.
I think that was the last time we were there, actually. It's a great place to go out, eh? In Fife. But it's kind of got to be the weather, but when the
That was a nice day, that day.
strawberries are on, it's good to go up there.
That was before the... Was it no, like,
Just
about
before.
March or April or something?
I think it was. It would be before I left.
Right enough, aye.
So
And you left in May,
in the May, so it had to be before then.
so that was just coming up for 2 years ago.
Aye, it would be.
Doesn't seem like that long ago, eh?
Everything's just so fast now.
Yeah, true.
Apart from January. January is the most motherfucking longest
Yeah.
month in the history of months.
Yeah, just a bit.
January.
Kind of tough to be in February now.
January is the Monday of months.
It is. There's no better way of putting it. That is
It's like,
very apt.
honestly, if there was a month that you kind of hate, that's the month.
Yeah, January is the suckiest month.
Yeah, I think obviously we know a lot of people, and a lot of people kind of get a bit low in January, and January blues is a real thing. And I mean, I've seen it everywhere this month. Like, I don't know if it's just because we're getting older or what, but I think you always talk about the big high coming down for Christmas and the darker nights, but you've also got all the lights that were on and seeing family and everything, and then it just suddenly stops.
Aye, it's all done.
And then it's dark and it's gloomy, and you're sitting there and you're going. I had the podcast, so I was like, I was looking forward to that, and then we try and catch up every weekend anyway. So, I mean, I'm grateful for friendships like that, because I think that's what gets you through those
Yeah, definitely. I was really looking forward to this weekend. I've had a great weekend because obviously Friday night you and Stin came down, and then we came up to Pinkies to see Bill and Murdoch. And then yesterday was away up to Dundee with Mum. Mum and Sam got me Primark vouchers for Christmas, so spent them. Although I was saying to, well, I'll get to that. So we were in Dundee, went for lunch as usual. And
where did you go?
we did pub grub this month.
Nice.
I've mapped out the entire year based on, because me and Mum, for anybody that doesn't know, do like eating round the world. So we've got a sushi place we love, we've got a Thai restaurant we love, a Lebanese restaurant we love, a Chinese that we love, and we've decided to get to 6. So it actually all started with Taco Bell, because we wanted to for October last year, because that was the, I think, 30th anniversary, or maybe it was the year before, 30th anniversary of when Demolition Man was released, a film we absolutely loved.
Great movie.
Yeah, and of course Taco Bell features heavily in that movie. So we decided we'd go there in the October, because we go up once a month, usually about the start of the month. But we went in, we just didn't fancy it anyway. We went in, but we didn't fancy it. So we looked at, there was an Italian restaurant just down from the Overgate that we'd been in years ago. I think it was called like Ciao Sorrento or something. But that was closed down. And there was another Italian that was, I think, closed down as well. So we ended up just, because we were walking about getting hungry, you know. So we ended up going into the Old Bank pub and just getting a pub grub. And it was brilliant. They do like 3 starters for 15 quid or something. And they do a crispy squid, which I always go for, a sticky chicken, which Mum always goes for, and then...
Andy's a big seafood lover.
Yeah, my favourite. I would just live on sushi if I could. But yeah, they used to do something else that Mum was saying wasn't on the menu, but we went yesterday for the 3rd, in addition to the crispy chicken and sticky chicken and crispy squid. Like chicken dumplings sort of thing.
Nice.
They were really nice, but I wasn't too keen on the sauce that they were in. So we'll maybe go for something different next time, in whatever month. Probably 6 months, because I tried to plan it basically with December being Mum's birthday. We go to the Manchurian, the Chinese restaurant that's her favourite, and in September, around about my birthday, we'll go to the sushi place, because obviously that's my favourite. So then I mirrored it in the months, in the first half of the year. We didn't actually make it up in January, but yeah, so came back up yesterday, sushi next month, and then, kind of off the back of what we've been doing, we're going to, one of the months, or 2 in the year, so we're doing 6 and 6, go to the Kettlebridge Inn.
Nice.
That's going to be because we went to that Italian and it was closed. We weren't really looking for an Italian, because they're eat round the world thing, but we've decided to make the Kettlebridge Inn our Italian.
We still not actually booked in our time, because we didn't go in January at all.
No, but we weren't going it because everybody was poor.
Yeah. I'm poor in general.
You got a wedding to save for, in fairness.
I also don't earn nearly as much as I used to earn.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's not a bad thing. Probably it's actually a good thing. We've talked about that. Is what I used to earn, I earn a fraction now compared to what I used to, and I'm happier. I'm poorer, but I'm happier. I don't work as crazy hours as I used to work. I work a pretty structured shift now, pattern, and yeah, like taking away that hard sales target. Still working in sales, but not having a physical like target that you have to hit a stressful target.
Yeah.
High, fast-paced sales, outbound and dialers, like it's all gone, and it's helped massively. I'd say the last we've talked about 2 years now almost, and
Yeah. Like I say, it didn't seem that long ago. I think I mentioned in the first episode how it was in May of last year, but I was obviously talking about the year before in early January. But yeah, it doesn't feel like almost 2 years.
yeah, it's
Time does fly, as you said.
dude, we're going to be 41. Well, I'm going to be 41 a lot sooner than you, but that's not that far away.
I don't know. At least by the time it gets to your birthday, you touched on the dark nights and stuff, it'll be getting very much lighter.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, you can kind of see it. Like when I finish, if I'm finishing at like 5, you can still see a wee bit of light in the sky. It's starting to be, it's getting there very slowly.
It's getting lighter when I go home, which
Yeah.
is a good thing. I think ultimately, I think in the next 2 weeks it will be light when I'm driving home, and I look forward to that. Like, I like to go into work when it's light and come home when it's light. I think that helps massively. A bit of vitamin D. I mean, I think that's one of the things as well is that. Well, kind of, I suppose, really kind of touching upon it. We've talked about the January blues, but one of the big things I dealt with is like we talked about in the last episode was like the loss of people, and we said I would obviously go into things about the therapy side of it. So we'll talk about train journey theory. Should we talk about train journey theory?
Well, you will, because you're the one that learnt about it.
But we love train journey theory, isn't it? It opened my world up.
Yeah, when you told me about it, I thought that sounds pretty good.
Yeah. I'll be honest, it changed my perspective on things massively. Like, I think I also really needed to hear it at the time and to help my brain process it. But obviously, the last 6 years I've dealt with a lot of loss, unimaginable loss, not death, just people in my lives that I love very, very much and I'm not able to see, and some people I really care about that we're not in touch with anymore, things like that. It's just, there's a lot of things that I didn't understand, and obviously you know this, is that I was sitting there and going, I doubted myself, I went through a lot of things, and my therapist, we went through train journey theory. So just to explain what train journey theory is, so anyone who's out there that's missing anyone or basically has lost someone, it's a case of train journey theory is that life is a train and you are your own train. But to give you a perspective, most trains do the same journey every single day. They come out, they go on the same track and they go round and do the same journey. Sometimes they'll go onto a different track and do a different journey, but usually they'll be put back and they go on the same journey, and that's the same route that they do every single day. And your life is essentially the same thing. You get up, you go to work, you see the same people at your work, your family, every single day. And ultimately, train journey theory is that people are the same thing. As people will get on your train, and your train stops at certain points like a train does, and people will get off at certain stops, and your train will continue on, and some people will get back on your train and some will never ever get back on your train again. And it's just such it kind of changed my whole perspective hearing that, is that, you know, the train will still do its journey and it goes round, and people are getting off and people are getting on, and sometimes people will get off forever and people will get back on again, just much later than you expect, or some much sooner. We've had a lot of people get back on the train recently. I mean, we bumped into Paul at Phoenix at Christmas.
Right enough.
Yeah, talked to him. We talked to him a few times now on the phone. It's good to hear from him. I went to primary school with him. He went to high school with him. And it's great to catch up with him and speak to him on the phone. And then we have Mo, who we both worked with. Did you work with Mo?
No, I think he left by the time. No, wait. Maybe there was a slight crossover, but he did leave, I think, not long after I'd started.
Yeah. And Max and Jolly for me is like a big one. Max, Jolly, Jamie, like I love those guys, been close with them. Obviously lost contact for a very bit of spell, but very much I love those guys so much.
It was good to see, well, 2 out of the 3 of them when we were up here, sat at this very table, if I remember correctly, over Christmas.
And yeah, I know, it's funny because we were out, Jolly and I were out with my dad the other night, and that's what he was saying is me and you, I think me and you are quite lucky. A lot of the people that we are still in close contact with are people that we've known now over 20 years.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that you have brotherhood friendships with, or just such a close friendships with, that ultimately, and it's not to diss anyone that we've become friends with after, but I would say that my high school and my college friends are the ones that I'm still exceptionally close with.
Well, Mum always said that, with me growing up, she was always very chuffed that all the mates I still hang about with, most of them, I've known for, like you say, over 20 years, some of them coming up for 30, including yourself, some of them over 30, like Stu and Parky I've known for over 30 years now, for example. Gemma as well. Going back decades. So I'm very grateful, and I know other people that, like, as I say, Mum has always said that she's very chuffed that all the people I'm close with, most of the people I'm close with, I've been close with for that long, that, that's obviously, as you say, we've met people since then that we've become close with also, which is great, but if you have that kind of core of people that you've known for decades, then I think that's, well, I'm very blessed, I feel, to have that.
Yeah, I think it's that whole thing as well, is that you don't listen to the rumours, you know the man, or you know the woman. You don't listen to the crap that's getting talked about with them. If you know them, you know them. And I feel like for instance, no matter whether they're man or woman, it's a brotherhood, that essentially a band of brothers that you have with all these people. I'd show up for every single one of them, and I hope I have. I'll pick up the phone if you phone, and I will show up at 2 a.m. if you phone me and you need me. Don't think I've ever not, but that's apparently where I get too involved. Apparently,
fair enough.
It's a feedback I was given from my old man was why, because I hate to think if I was ever there and that they would. That's a depressing one. We'll keep that for later on.
So squirrels, they're awesome.
Yeah, squirrels are amazing. What was I going to say?
See that squirrel video you sent me the other day? Since you sent it to me, it's still in there. I'm like, I feel really bad when he falls, and Aaron sent me a squirrel video, and it's of a squirrel getting hurt, recovers, but I still feel the impact when he falls. Yeah,
but it's the girl that looks after him though. She literally, it's a wild squirrel, falls from a tree and actually gets hurt. She picks the squirrel up, actually pays for its veterinary bills.
Yeah.
Homes him, keeps him.
It's in America, so that was probably quite pricey.
Yeah, and on top of that, it's against the law.
Oh really?
Yeah, wild animals, you're not allowed to. So.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Is that the same in this country?
Do not know if it's the same over here, but in America there was in the election, the Trump election, there was the whole thing about the squirrel and the thingy that got put down. There were like sensations because some Karen had like millions of viewers and they'd been going around for years. That basically this guy and his wife had saved them. I can't remember if I want to say it's a squirrel, but you can look it up. But because they had been wild before they got them, some women had said, "Look, bit Sunday." They didn't even check. They came at this guy's house, took the animals, and then put them down.
Really?
Yeah, and Trump used that in his election.
Of course he did.
Of course he did. But that's how I know is that if it's something's wild, that it's against the law. They'll actually just come in and put it down. Because if it's born in the wild, then there's a thing. So
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It totally reminds, like seeing that video on the impact when the squirrel falls. It reminded me of when I was down in London. I was back up for Christmas and New Year, and I think we'd been doing the town or something, like me and Mikey and CK and stuff. And I'd got a taxi up the road. I was staying at Mum and Sam's, and the taxi was going down the hill to turn left around that corner towards there, and it hit a rabbit just at the bottom of the hill, and I can still feel it to this day.
So, the Pinkertons quiz on a Thursday night. Do tell the audience, Andrew, what happened at the last quiz?
Oh, I don't know. You know what my short-term memory's like.
But did the Murdogs destroy a certain Goosies?
Goosies, yeah. You did come above us, yeah. I think we were about 6th or 7th, were we not?
And then Murdog as well, himself, the legend Murdog, had said he was pretty confident that the Murdogs had beat the Goosies more as well.
Nah, I don't think so. But again, we'll find out. Yeah.
Aye, and we'll shout and scream and cheer yous on if yous beat us. We're that kind of team. But
as are we. I mean, we'll applaud politely, but
I would love to hear you cheer for us if we beat yous.
Yeah, it's probably not going to happen, is it?
But that would be Murdogs 1, Goosies
0, Googlers 1.
Oh, sore loser. But
That bit. I don't do loser.
All about the Murdog.
Although as a Man United fan, it's becoming pretty common. Obviously we lost again today, 2-0, Crystal Palace.
You did?
Yeah.
To be fair, it's all going to be overshadowed by the spanking that Man City got.
Yeah,
5-1.
Yeah, not a good day for
Arsenal.
Manchester. I've been down twice actually. I went down because Craig used to stay there at the same time Gemma did, and Craig and his now wife, they actually got engaged on. They were having sort of a leaving night, but it was also, we knew beforehand, but Sarah didn't know that he was going to propose on that night, and so they got married. I think about 3 years later, I want to say. 'Cause this was late 2012. That was the first time I'd been to Manchester, and I'm sure they got married in like 2015.
Oh, nice.
Up at Falkland. It was brilliant.
So this is their 10-year anniversary.
Right enough, yeah, it will be in the summer. Happy anniversary when it comes, guys, if you're listening. But yeah, then me and Stu and Michelle and Gemma and Carrie went down December 2019 for, it was at the Manchester Arena. They were doing like a 90s night, and there was like Rednecks were there, the Venga Boys were there. Pat Sharp hosted it.
Nice.
There was loads of 90s acts, and it was brilliant, it really was.
But you guys do that every year though, all these catch up, don't you?
We tried to. It was initially something that the guys did down in Manchester. They called it the the annual Manchester Festive Gathering, the AMFG. And that's 2012 was the first one I'd been to. I think they'd done maybe about 3 or 4 by that point. And we've tried to continue it. We've done it a few times, but the last time really was 2019. Me and Gemma and Carrie went over to Glasgow. It was still at the kind of tail end of... No, wait. It would have been 2021, actually. It was still at the tail end of COVID and stuff, so Stu and Michelle were meant to be flying over from Zurich, but their flight ended up getting cancelled. So it was just me and the girls in the end. But we had a really good couple of days. Done a bit of Christmas shopping. It's always approaching Christmas time that we do them. And yeah, we got a bit of Christmas shopping in. We went to that Bongos Bingo. Funnily enough, I was saying to Leo on the day when we were down at Mum's, because I think him and Dom are going to one in Edinburgh. And we went, as I said, we went to the one in Glasgow.
Oddly, last night, The Last of Us turning 40 is Pauline on Tuesday, and I believe that she was at a Bongos Bingo in Edinburgh last night.
Well, Leon and Dom are going to one. me and the girls, we liked it. It was all right, but I think we kind of agreed afterwards that we probably should have had a few more pints before we went, because the queue for the bar was astronomical. I mean, we were half an hour in the queue just to get a few tins of Copperberg or whatever it was.
Not like Pinkies then, where
no, exactly.
Service is great and you're done within 2 minutes.
Yeah,
where we're at right now.
of course. But yeah, I mean, we enjoyed it. There was like crazy prizes. As I was saying to Leon, because it was right before Christmas, E17 came out at the end and did a few songs, and of course you knew they were going to do Stay Another Day. They went off. That was the encore, but they went off, and we're all sitting there like, they're about to come back on and do Stay Another Day, aren't they? And of course they subsequently did.
See, when I think about like our childhood and Christmas and stuff, like Stay Another Day is the song I remember from like when we were like just before we were teenagers, like 12, like that sort of 11, 12.
Oh yeah, I think it came out when we were like 9 or something.
Yeah, and Michael Jackson's Earth song randomly. I don't know why, but E17, Stay Another Day, and Michael Jackson's Earth song.
So that came out when we were about 11 or 12, I think.
You would know
sure
that
was
better
like
than me.
96 or 95 they released that.
The thing is E17 Stay Another Day is just it's a tune, eh? Like,
oh, it's a great tune.
It's
they did when they were performing, when they were at the Bongos Bingo thing that we were at. Pardon me, they did a song that I'd forgotten about that they actually recorded with Gabrielle, and I'd forgotten how good that song was as well. She wasn't there unfortunately, but I think her parts were just from the recording, but they were singing their parts live kind of thing. But yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sounds like you guys have a lot of really good adventures.
We do, in fairness.
Yeah.
The Manchester one was brilliant in 2019. We ended up at I think it was like a drag club, and there was, Gemma got a photo of me and this drag queen who was about 2 foot taller than me, and sent it to my mum going, he's finally found the one. Because of course she did. Yeah.
So, Wicket's the world's worst dog. Monthly update.
Who I've still not met yet.
Still not met.
We'll
This will
get
come in
there.
February.
When I come up to get my picture that little art drew me, that you keep forgetting, I'll meet the dog.
Dude, I've still
And
not
my
given
yearbook.
you your yearbook. I've not given you that back. What chance do you think I've got to remember in the
How long
drawing?
have you had that now? That must be at least a year.
I'm going to say 3 years. 'Cause
Surely it's not that long. Why did I not bring that
You
up
brought it
to
up.
show Laura, like
Yep.
some of the photos of us when we were at school?
Yep.
Funnily enough, actually, see, thinking about it, the day I went down to the school to get my yearbook, I was up here in this very part of Pinkies.
Really?
Because I'm sure, like, me and my dad and my granny and granddad were having lunch here. And then afterwards, my dad drove me down to the school so I could pick up a yearbook.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, obedience classes for Wicket have been
Oh yeah, was
going.
Laura not taking it?
Yeah, she's doing really well, and he's doing better. He has destroyed a few things in the house, destroyed a few toys. We've gone through 2 dog beds. Thankfully, they were older dog beds that the girls had been using anyway. But
To clarify, you mean Cookie and Tara?
Cookie and Tara,
Yeah.
he had literally ripped them apart and came home to fluff everywhere through the cage and everything. I don't even know how he did that. And during the wind, he decided that he just wasn't going to come in. So literally had me chasing him around the garden to the point where after about 5 or 6 minutes I thought, no, I'm just going to leave you out here. And I left him there and shut the door for 3 minutes and watched him through the glass. Did not care. Did not care. He was up on the trampoline, he was running around the garden, and I'm sitting there going, come in. And then about 15 minutes of me standing at the door, because I'd already chased after him, Laura comes to the door and says, Wicket, come in. What does he do? He walks right into the house, and I'm like,
He knows who the boss is.
Oh, he knows who the boss is. And I'm just sitting there like, are you kidding me? Like, cat. Honestly, he's unbelievable. But he had a toy, a little yellow duck, right? Love this stuff. Right. Laura comes home from lunch one day, and he decides he's taking the duck outside with him, and then he accidentally pees on it. You could see Laura says you could see he didn't mean to pee on his duck, but he peed on his duck. The duck has been left outside now because he will not touch the duck anymore because he peed on it. And I'm like, Sheldon, the cat, likes to follow Laura to the school to pick up little R.
Nice.
On a Friday, she goes and picks her up, and the cat follows her. And as Laura's walking into the school, she's walking up the hill, and basically she notices these teenagers for the high school picking the cat up and calling him Sheldon, and she's like, wait a minute. So it turns out that this other house had been feeding him as well.
Nice.
On top of all the other houses, and they now have 2 kittens, so he doesn't come and visit them as much anymore because they've got 2 kittens now.
Yeah.
I'm like, how much does this cat eat? Well, the neighbour along the road actually said to me, "Oh, your cat's in my kitchen at the moment." I'm like, "Well, just put him out." No, it's fine. Come on, man.
Funnily enough, when me and Mum were in the old bank yesterday, he was at the table next to us having a steak.
Probably.
Wouldn't surprise you.
No, that cat is unbelievable. But it obviously comes from the fact that the first 6 months of his potential 6 months of his life, he was just out, and he's just used to going to people's houses, and he's been getting fed. So he knows where his home is. He went through about 20 collars at one point. Laura bought like a big pack of collars. He kept coming home with no collar on after him. I'm pretty much convinced that one of these houses was like taking the collar off him and trying to keep it. So, and Laura would put another collar on him. But what I would say is that Wicket, Sheldon, and Milo, our other cat, love Laura. Cookie loves Laura. Tara's Tara's just like. Cookie will always come to me, and Sheldon's kind of the bairn.
Yeah.
But Milo and Wicket are Laura's, and the older dogs are definitely mine. Like, Cookie can't burrow herself into me enough. It's just cuddles in.
Only when I'm not there, obviously.
Obviously. She's kind of got that. Kind of worries me a little bit. I mean, you know, when dogs kind of start getting older, you see it's like their eyes. You kind of see in their eyes that they're a little bit older dogs. Kind of see her starting to go that way.
Yeah.
More so this last month, and kind of makes my heart sink a little bit. So, but I'm still hoping for at least another 2 or 3 years with her. So, because she's just awesome.
Yeah, I love it a bit.
Yes, she's just funny.
Oh, speaking about dogs, I mentioned in episode 1 that I would need to check with Mum about Pepsi. Turns out Pepsi was a boy. I kept thinking that he was a girl, but apparently not. And yeah, she confirmed that we were calling him Sparky initially, and then I don't know where we landed with Pepsi. We just obviously then started calling him Pepsi.
So very, very funny. We've just had a break, and Laura's messaged.
Yeah, the music was getting really loud up here, so Lindsay has thankfully turned the speakers off right next to where we're sitting.
Yeah.
You can still hear it down in the bar, but up where we're sat, it's not as loud. Although whoever put those tunes on the jukebox, there was a couple of bangers in there.
Oh yeah, I've just added, as I said to you, I've just added a few to my playlist.
Yeah.
But Laura's message to advise, right after we spoke about it, Sheldon has lost his last colour and she's had to order 20 more. So, let's see how long those last.
Yeah, well, when did she get the previous lot?
About this time last year.
Right. So probably about a year.
Yeah, it's just going to be a regular thing, man.
Yeah.
People try to steal him and take his collar off, or he's getting them off somehow. My cat, my adopted cat.
Yeah.
Getting stolen. So, what was I going to say?
I never really get a chance to clap the cats because whenever I'm at yours, Cookie's always on my lap, so they always just kind of stay away.
Yeah. Well, Laura's cat Milo is like a big. We got him as a
Big
kitten.
fluff ball.
Yeah, he's like a Maine Coon cat. Is that what they're called? Maine Coon ones, the big fluffy ones.
That is a breed of cat, yeah.
It's basically one of those. He's awesome, but it's Laura's cat. Like he literally sleeps on top of. I love that my dogs have to go in a cage, but Laura's cats can sleep in the bed. I'm like,
And Sheldon, does he not sleep in the bed with little R?
He does. Yeah, he goes in with little R. I think as well because her bed's like up. It's like a bunk bed type thing. I think he likes the fact that even if the dog's got up, he's up. He's like, they're not getting up to him.
There's no chance they'll get up there. No?
He's just kind of like nah. But yeah, what was I going to say to you? So one of the things we didn't talk about, and it's probably the biggest thing that happened in January, and it's up to you whether or not we go into it, but the American politician that came into becoming a new president in January.
There was an inauguration, yeah.
There was, and it's been pretty big. It's a funny old world we live in now. When you think back to when we recorded that first episode on January 5th, and now on February 2nd, he's now been in it. Let's be fair, he's done a lot. Some crazy shit, and some not so crazy shit, but I think we're in for a wild 4 years.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think his press secretary, the one who's running the White House, is just amazing.
I know, but you sent me that video and said that she answered the question brilliantly. She didn't answer the question she was given. She did the usual politician thing of talking about how shite her opponents are, like the Democrats in this case, and didn't actually answer the boy's question, which is, what are you guys going to do about this?
But she did at the and if the video had kept going, she did. It's just she kind of gave a reason because it was getting blamed on him for it happening. But
no, it wasn't. The guy was literally saying,
well, no.
This is the case. What are you guys going to do about this?
He said since Trump had come in, it's increased by so and so. And
then, did
he? Yeah.
Apologies, I must have missed that bit.
Yeah, and then she actually had to point out, well, no, this is to do with the fact that, the last administration culled 100 million chickens.
Yeah.
Not nothing to do with us, but we are now trying to address it. But I think what I like about that approach is she's very direct. She will come facts. She doesn't need papers, things like that. She's there and she's giving answers. Whether she was a Democrat or a Republican, she's somebody who's actually standing there. She's asking questions. She's getting the questions asked, and she's giving you a direct response. But it's refreshing. Do you know, man? It's refreshing to watch. Right? I sit there and I think, holy shit! Like some of the shit that's going on, like right now as we speak, the tariff stuff for Canada and Mexico and.
Yeah, did he not implement that today?
Yeah,
and I think they've implemented
retaliatory 25%.
Yeah, which you would expect, in fairness.
If I was in Canada right now, I can speak for my best friend here, Brian, Mr. Stripe, as he's a big Jack Daniels fan. If you're in Canada, they've taken Jack Daniels off the shelf in Canada.
Really?
Literally on the news as you were out for a smoke break, I was looking up, and Canada have taken Jack Daniels off the shelf.
Why? Surely there's a lot of Canadians that like Jack Daniels.
The tariffs, it's just going to go
through
the roof. Because, well, obviously to bring import to in, they're now going to have these extra costs that then have to get passed on to the consumer.
Yeah, true.
So it'll be kind of like, I suppose, what happens in Russia when they put all the sanctions and stuff on them. Is you'll get the Russian brand of Jack Daniels. It'll be the Sack Daniels.
Well, they're big into their vodka over there, not as much with the whiskey. Or bourbon, I suppose. Well, no, technically it's whiskey, but with an E.
They're Canadian, it's just beer. Beer and hockey.
Not to generalise an entire country's...
You've literally watched South Park.
Religiously, yeah.
Like, if me saying beer and hockey is... South Park have been doing it for decades before me.
Yeah, that's true.
Terence and Philip.
Yeah.
Although
and the Queen Sisters.
In my eyes, that might actually be one of the best musicals ever.
What?
South Park, bigger, longer.
Oh, yeah. You remember years ago, Channel 4 used to do a top 100 stuff, and I love a list. so like Jacob, lost reference for you there. And they did the 100 best musicals, and I'm sure the South Park movie was in the top 10 at least. It might have been like 3 or something, if I remember correctly.
I mean, even now,
Such a film though, cracking film.
you could show that to folk that are 15 now, and they just won't get it. I don't think, anyway.
Not as much as, because obviously it was very much of its time, as most things are. But yeah, I think people would still love it.
Yeah, I think there's that, but like you've got the whole Saddam references and stuff now.
Yeah.
The whole generations that ignorance won't know who he is or anything like that. Whereas obviously we knew what he looked like and knew back then, and then I think a lot of the political correctness nowadays you would not get to release
Probably not.
that movie. There's a lot of movies that just would not get released nowadays.
Yeah.
Or new songs. I mean, literally, a Christmas number one. You can correct me on this. I don't know if it was Christmas number one, but Chef from South Park, chocolate salty balls.
It never got to number 1. I think it reached, funnily enough, I mentioned number 3 in the Channel 400 Greatest. I think it hit number 3 or number 2 in the charts.
But it was a top 10 hit at Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it was Christmas.
Oh, is it not?
No.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
You would be more better than me.
If we were recording this episode in my living room, I'd go and get I got it from lassie I used to work with when we worked at W.H. Smith. She got me the Guinness Hit Singles book, and it was basically everything that had been released up to then. I think it was like 2003 or something, and where it got to in the UK charts. And so yeah, I would, if we weren't recording this in the pub, I would go and get that book and tell you exactly where it came.
Well, I've googled it because we're in 2025.
I'm old-fashioned. Leave me alone.
So it came out on August 19th, 1998. For some strange reason, I have a recollection of me getting that at Christmas. I don't know why.
Did it tell you where it came?
The chocolate soup balls when it came.
No, where it came in the charts. Was that right? Was it 2 or 3?
Chart position, chocolate salty balls. Something I never thought I would say on this podcast. And chocolate salty balls, P.S. I Love You by Isaac Hayes reached number 1 on the UK singles charts and the Irish charts in 1998.
Nice.
It was also a top 20 hit in Australia. So,
gotta love the Brits and the Aussies.
yeah,
and the Irish.
I was going to say the Brits, the Irish, and the Aussies had a sense of humour. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, I love that got to number 1. Although, in fairness, we're not that great, because mine there was a Mr. Blobby song that's Christmas number 1 year.
Yeah.
I think my cousins bought that. I'm sure I remember doing it. My cousins, Debbie, Laura, David, and Heather, at Christmas time, and they were playing it. I'm sure they'd got it, and I did not contribute to that being number 1. But yeah.
But do you not kind of miss it though? Like these sort of nostalgic, like Christmas number 1s. I know they've had this, like the guy from YouTube, Lad Baby, with his sausage roll songs for 5 years. But to me, the Mr. Bobbies, the Chef,
Well, you know the one that I was really invested in? I think it was like 2004 or 3. It was when that song from Donnie Darko, the
Echo and the Bunnymen.
No, it was Gary Jules and another guy. It was Mad World.
Oh yeah.
That got to number 1, but I really wanted The Darkness. Christmas time, Don't Let the Bells End, and it picked it in the end. I was gutted because I really wanted that to be. The only other time I've kind of been really invested in it was, remember we had a run of X Factor winners just being Christmas number 1 by default, and then they did the campaign to get Rage Against the Machine, Killing in the Name of, and that got to number. I was loving that. That's a great song, first and foremost, but it broke the
The cycle.
monotony of every year X Factor winner, and obviously there was a lot of great songs that were released by the winners of the X Factor. But it did become a bit stale. It was like every year, you know what's going to be Christmas #1. And this one year, there was this campaign to have Rage Against the Machine. And yeah, that ended up getting it #1. It was brilliant.
I kind of feel like we missed the X Factor now. I feel like it was a lead-in, like you come to the end of the summer holidays and it was a lead-in to your Christmas. Like on a Saturday night.
I never really liked it back in the day. But I remember, I touched on it earlier, when me and Heather lived together down in London, just up for Crystal Palace's ground who beat us today. Still got it. When we lived there, she watched it. And I used to, when I worked at Classic FM, I used to work at midnight on a Saturday night till 9 a.m. on a Sunday morning. And so when I was getting ready, when I was ironing my shirt or whatever, and getting ready to go out, she would be watching it on the Saturday night. And so I seen a little bit of it, but it wasn't really until I came back feeling then. And like Mum and Sam watched it, and we used to have, like, it used to be an event. It was one of those event TV things. Like, Planet Kate and Ewan would come along, and we'd have we'd have nibbles and crisps and chips and dip and stuff, watch the X Factor, and it was like a thing.
Yes, it is. I think I can remember 2018 going to the actual concert.
And they did like the live tour.
I'd actually done it years before, but in 2018 my daughter S loved it, so we literally got tickets to go, and it ended up being called off because of snow. But like that for me, I think was the last time they'd properly done it, because 2019 I don't remember them being. Maybe there was one in 2019, but 2020 we have COVID.
Yeah.
And it never ever came back. But it was such a staple to, like, I've been lost without it, because like even if I didn't watch it, at least it was like I knew, like when it was on the live shows or when it was coming up, it was almost like a diary for almost a decade.
Yeah.
Of when X Factor came on, right? Okay, that's us getting into the cycle of Christmas. Like, but I do miss it. I think as well that I think that's the biggest mistake that ITV have made is completely stopping it. It's maybe something they should have done every sort of few years or 5 years.
Well, I think that was originally the plan, but obviously there's just been no talk of reviving it, I think.
Get rid of Louis, bring me and you in.
Dude, Louis was brilliant. I love Louis.
Keep Sharon, love Sharon. Bring in Cheryl, Simon, and then us. We'll be.
That's too many judges, man. I think there was all like 4.
Really? I thought, so we'll just make it 5. Like, let's just make it 5.
Your math's still not adding up there because it'd be 6. If there was me, you, Louis, Simon,
I'm getting rid of
Cher.
Louis. We're taking over for Louis.
Yeah, but I'm vetoing that, and Louis stays.
Bro.
I've got a veto.
You've got a veto. You do have a veto on editing this.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, it's. I miss X Factor. I was going to say, what other things do you miss that was on telly?
See, when we were growing up, talking about like Saturday night telly, the big break, I think the snooker programme.
Yes.
I remember it was Philly's wedding in 2007. I was down in London at the time, but I'd come back up for it, obviously.
You came up for a few weddings in 2007.
I did. And well, that was one of them. And then funnily enough, I was talking about this recently because, well, I'll get to that. Sausages, just a wee memory point for me there. We'd gone to Philly's wedding, and I stayed at Gemma's mum and dad's the night of the wedding. And in the morning, to get to the sausages bit, Gemma's dad made us whiskey and venison sausages.
Nice.
Still to this day, 15 years later, the best sausages I've ever had.
Nice.
But that night, after we got home from the wedding, like me and Gemma were just sitting having a drink, and then we decided to go up to our dad's like snooker room, playing snooker on this table. We were both shit. We were both very drunk. It was after the wedding. Both had a few, and I think in half an hour of us playing, I potted one ball, and that was it between us. So yeah, we were playing snooker on this table. It was only years later that we found out that was the actual table from the Big Break TV show. The guy that had the house before Gemma's mum and dad had it like craned in before the roof was put on the house, basically. And yeah, so we played on the table that was on the Big Break.
Nice. Came on I think of it like as London's Burning.
That was always a Sunday night, wasn't it?
It was.
That and Heartbeat.
Yes, Heartbeat led into London's Burning.
My granny and granddad actually went to wherever they filmed that. They went on holidays to Yorkshire quite a lot. And I'm sure they went to wherever they filmed Heartbeat.
Nice. I think back at the TV's just not the same anymore. It's too easily accessible. Like, to be fair, I literally just watch Netflix and Amazon. I don't watch anything live. I don't do anything like that. It's literally my Amazon account and my Netflix account, and that's it.
Well, the only kind of shows that I watch that are ongoing, if you like, are obviously EastEnders, Match of the Day, The Last Leg, South Park, whenever there's a new series comes out. That's pretty much it. I don't watch anything else.
Yeah.
Like, when there's a new series of something, I'm not, like when Game of Thrones was on, it was like, right, new series of Game of Thrones, I'm watching that. There's nothing, apart from EastEnders, South Park, The Last Leg, Match of the Day, I didn't really watch anything. I watch shows, obviously I'm going back through How I Met Your Mother right now for, I think I said in the first episode, that journal that Stu got me,
yeah,
the TV shows and stuff. I started on that. Last Sunday I had the pen and paper out and listing loads of shows and what was I going to go on to next, because I'd finished Scrubs. That was the last one I did.
Great show.
And yeah, well, it was the first time I'd seen it. I'd never seen it when it was on, and I went through it for the journal.
How sad's the Brendan Fraser storyline?
Very. I feel like overall though it went on one series too long.
I would agree with that.
Because I knew that there was another series to come. When they did the whole, I think they even called the episode my finale or something at the end of series 7 or 8 or whatever it was, 8 I think. I knew there was another series to come, so I wasn't as invested, and then and all of a sudden it was like, in that last series, like JD and what was
Elliot?
Aye. They were in it one episode and then they weren't. And then I read afterwards that was their last appearance. Oh, okay. 2 of the main characters for the entire run are now not in it anymore. There was no big end for them. So yeah, I feel it went on. Great show. It went on probably one series too long.
But it might be back, apparently.
Really?
Yeah, we'll see. I'm a big Shrinking fan, and it's by Bill Lawrence and the Ted Lasso guys.
Should have seen a clip of that or a trailer or something. It looked really good. Is Harrison Ford in it?
Yes, it's absolutely brilliant. But his wife obviously is in Shrinking, but she's also Dr. Cox's wife in Scrubs.
Oh yeah.
And there was a whole Instagram post and stuff that seemed to imply that they might be playing husband and wife again in Scrubs. Just at the end of December. So whether it comes to anything, false promises from actors and stuff in the past, but she's very good in Shrinking.
Harrison Ford's actual wife, Melissa Flockhart, was in Alan McBeal, and that is one show that I'm definitely going to watch through for the journal, because I absolutely loved that when it was on. And Mum and Sam got me the entire DVD collection for Christmas, not there, but the year before, like 2023. I've still not watched it yet, but I'm absolutely going to.
Nice.
Love that show.
I am Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel, in my opinion, are the best written series ever. Just in terms of how they deal with fantasy and real, like they did it long before anyone else. But I'm a big Band of Brothers fan. I love Chernobyl. I thought that was amazing. Recently, Ted Lasso is hands down one of the best series. It's influenced me in so many different ways and inspired me in so many different ways that I cannot speak. And it lifted me up at a point I needed it to. But yeah, there's just so many good series out there, isn't there?
Yeah. Obviously Lost for me is number one. Always will be, I reckon. Even Game of Thrones didn't knock it off the top 10. That comes a very close second.
Me and Laura went back and watched the entire series last year.
Yeah, well, you say went back and watched. You did. Laura hadn't seen it, remember? So.
Yeah, well, she hated it. She liked the first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
But she really didn't like it at the end. She was literally grudging watching it. It's like...
I think for me, I can't see there being a better show made ever. I mean, it would be nice, but it's unlikely in my opinion, because not even Game of Thrones topped it, as I say. So I think for me, top 3 would be Lost, Thrones, and then probably South Park.
Stranger Things this year for me is the big one I'm looking forward to.
Still never watched that yet. I mind in the COVID days, I had this thing on my wall, like fairy lights, but also photos and stuff. And I mind we were doing a video call, it was like me, Neil, and Archie, and Mikey and that. And Neil had obviously watched Stranger Things, because he was saying, "Oh, is that on your wall? Is that out of Stranger Things?" Not seen that. Yeah. Oh, somebody in that show has exactly the same as you've got behind you. Oh, cool. I need to get that a watch. Still haven't, but I will do eventually.
Nice. That's awesome.
Although I've been saying that for years about Breaking Bad, and I did get a few series into Sopranos once, because Johnny in particular said that was an amazing show.
It's a good show.
And I did watch a few series, but I never just picked it back up again. I will eventually.
Controversially, I've tried with Breaking Bad so many times, and I just can't. I get it. I get it. It's like the Trump thing. I get it. I get why people like it. It's just not for me. Like, yeah. Like, I get it's a good show. I can see how it's a good show. I'm not like invested in it. Laura and I, with little R, have gone back and we're watching the Goldbergs now. So we've never watched it before. So kind of like Lost last year, Goldbergs is this year. It's like set in the 80s. It's the family sitcom. It's only 20 odd minutes an episode. It's fun so far. We're like halfway through the first season, so we reckon it'll take us the year to watch it, because we only watch it. Laura doesn't want to watch it during the day. It's got to be at dinner times, so it's
fair enough.
So we might get 1 or 2 episodes in here or there. So I was like, yes, it's going to take us 10 seasons over the year. I was like, we're going to get this done at Christmas.
Yeah. So that could be your countdown thing this year.
Yeah.
We're into season 9, near Christmas.
Yeah, me and little Lara were talking about that, because she's already like started talking about Christmas. Like, let's get to your birthday. Like, let's get to Mum's birthday and Dad's birthday. And I was like, let's get to the summer and let's get to the wedding. I was like, let's get to like all these things first. Well, then we'll talk about Christmas and we'll see where everything is.
Yeah. I think only after Halloween and Bonfire Night should the Christmas conversation come up. I know, even before, my birthday's in September, of course, and even before my birthday, there's Christmas decorations and stuff in shops these days. And I'm like, no, just wait till Halloween and Bonfire Night, and then we'll get into Christmas mode. We're not there yet.
Totally. I think as well, the fact that there's Easter eggs out on Christmas Eve, like...
Really?
Yeah, you could buy cream eggs and that on Christmas Eve. I was like, really? It was a section literally for Easter when I went into the shops on Christmas Eve in the morning. Because I have my Christmas Eve tradition, as you know.
Yeah.
I go to BB's Cafe, I get a hot chocolate and I get a muffin. I then pick up my butcher stuff and have a quick look and pick up any extras that I feel like I need to. I don't need to, but this year was busy though. Like every other year I've done it, nothing. Like it's really dead quiet. It's kind of nice. You can kind of see like the odd person come running in. Clearly the people have left it literally to the last day.
Yeah.
But
probably seen me a few times.
but I just love to get down there at 8 in the morning when everything's opening up and sit and chill, go pick up the stuff I've already paid for, and then, as I say, just have a quick glance, see if there's anything else, and then I go home. And it's my little yearly tradition.
I remember what I done on Christmas Eve this year, last year now.
Little Lara and I built a gingerbread house which was successful this year.
Nice.
We get the Chinese takeaway, and she gets her Christmas Eve box, which is very Grinch focused usually. She's a big Grinch fan.
Nice.
I'm trying to think what else. Christmas Eve is just so busy, Like
it was a Tuesday this year, or last year rather, wasn't it? Because I think on the Sunday I'd gone through to Edinburgh with Stu and Michelle and our pals Gab and Elaine over there, and we went out for a nice meal and went out for a few pints and stuff. And then on the Monday I had gone to...
Did your work thing?
Yeah, I had a meal with my team at work. Our manager Katie took us out for dinner, which was lovely. I had a mushroom risotto, which was absolutely beautiful, down at Foxton's. And then they went back to work, I was off.
And you met me?
And then, yeah, right enough, that's when we went down to the
Phoenix.
And then did we not come up here after?
We did come up here.
Yeah.
Always come here.
Yeah, true. I can't remember what I did on Christmas Eve though. I probably went down and got some last minute bits down the town.
I think
wrapped
so.
some stuff, yeah.
But this year was the first year you didn't have a seafood platter.
Yeah, true.
Because you always have a seafood platter at Christmas.
Well, usually the last couple of years I have done, yeah.
And I was surprised when you said that, because I was like, really? But, shall see. This year's we're 1 month in, 11 to go.
Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting one. I'm looking forward. As I say to you, like, I think for me right now, we're doing this, I'm loving this, we're having fun at the quiz, and on top of that...
Well, I didn't have much fun last time because we didn't do well, but you know.
It's alright, but you're just going to get spanked this whole year at the quiz. Or,
Well, mind, I'm only going to be there every couple. It has worked out well though, because I worried about that coming into the new year, because obviously I tend to come when I've got the Friday off
right,
after I've worked the Saturday.
right.
And I did worry about the new year, and because he didn't do it on Christmas week, I thought, is that going to shift it? Am I going to end up having the Friday off when it's not quiz week? But it seems to have lined up again, so I'm alright. I can come like once a month.
So, obviously coming to the end, it's movie and music recommendation time.
Yeah,
Your favourite part, I'd imagine, of the evening.
definitely one of them, yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say I went first last time, so and I know you've got your song ready, so go for it.
I do, and obviously I mentioned her earlier in this episode, but I mentioned her in the first episode that I've been listening to a lot of Sigrid over the last couple of years. She's been my number one artist on Spotify for the last 2 years since I got Spotify, basically. And the one I'm going to go for this time is a song by Sigrid called Dancer.
Nice.
What's your movie?
So, last time I went The Replacements with Keanu Reeves.
You did?
This time it's a Bill Paxton directed movie called Frailty, starring Matthew McConaughey. And Bill Paxton plays, basically, it's a supernatural type thriller, sort of crime in there. It turns out that it's Matthew McConaughey walks into a sheriff's station, tells him that he knows or is a serial killer, and then starts to tell him a story about his childhood. And the childhood he's telling him about is that his dad had told him and his brother that there were demons in the world and that they had to slay the demons. And it goes through this whole childhood story, and Matthew McConaughey's telling this guy in the sheriff station, and you're seeing it all happen. And
Was Bill Paxton the one that was in The Equalizer? He was...
No.
No?
I don't think he was anyway. Bill Paxton was James Cameron's go-to guy for many years. He was in the original Terminator. He was one of the punks. He was in Aliens.
I think the Bill Pullman.
Bill Pullman
Was he in Independence Day?
He was in Independence Day. He was the
So
president.
yeah, he was.
Yes, he was. He was in
The Equalizer.
He was
the wife, the husband of
the main CIA.
Denzel's old boss. Yeah.
But yeah, that I would say that it will surprise everyone. You'll wonder how you've not heard of it before. Matthew McConaughey in a Bill Paxton movie called Frailty, and I believe it's 2001. Will surprise you. So yeah, I'd say seek it out. Brilliant little movie, and not as uplifting and inspiring as The Replacements. It's funny, but it's every time I recommend one, I'll give it a different genre. But yeah, seek it out, guys. It's a
At
really
least
good
my
one.
recommendation's uplifting. Every time Dancer comes on, it's one of those. It makes your body move. Like my hips will go when that comes on, and
You've got the hips though. You're all hips.
and they don't lie. Oh, what was the song we were dancing, or I was dancing in Barcelona that you accused me of using too much hip? Was it Bootylicious?
Bootylicious.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah.
You can never use too much hips. I will die on that hill.
I was drunk a lot in Barcelona back then.
That was a cracking trip.
I got like the 4 days we were there.
I think so, yeah. It was about 3 or 4 days, yeah.
I got like 4 or 5 hours sleep most.
Pretty much, yeah. I got more.
Oh yeah.
Thankfully, I was in a different room to you. I stayed with Matthew, who was on the art, because it was us, like media students and the art students, and me and I think the only guy from the arts class that was on the trip, Matthew, a fellow Man United fan as well, which was nice.
Yeah.
We shared the room, and you shared the room with the rest of the guys for your class.
Yeah.
And yeah,
It was.
let's just say
We'll
myself and Matthew were able to get sleep, and there was calm in our room. Not so much down in your room. That was the party room.
Yeah, and I really wasn't in it as much. I was out partying.
Yeah, exactly.
I was at bars like till I remember walking in and breakfast was being served most mornings.
That was the
And
because
Pat being like, "Yeah, let's go do this and that," and I'm sitting there like, "Fuck."
I remember we went to the Sagrada Familia, and I think I was the only media student on that trip. It was me and all the art lot, and Pat was like, because I think was it Pat, our tutor, and there was a lady that was one of the art tutors, and Pat was saying to me on the way up there, he was like, "I'm glad at least you're here, because otherwise there'd be no media students. It would just be all the art lot."
Yeah. Oh, it was a very good trip.
It was. Sagrada Familia was lovely though.
Yeah. Well, I don't
No,
think.
wait. Was it the Sagrada Familia? I think it was maybe actually Park Gaudi.
I remember coming.
You don't know, you weren't there.
I remember coming to meet you, but you were on your way back at that point. Because remember, I got on the wrong train and ended up out in like the suburbs.
You were on a train?
Yeah, there's like the underground train thing, and I
Really?
went on it and
Didn't
ended
even know
up.
Barcelona had one of them.
Yeah, that was an experience.
I remember we went into that Chinese restaurant. It was just the two of us, man.
Had shark fin soup.
Yeah, that was the one and only time I've ever had shark fin soup as well. Obviously, before I knew it was really bad to have that because they literally
Cut the fin off.
cut the fin off and just
Throw the shark
leave the
back.
shark. Yeah, didn't really think about it beforehand, but yeah, one and only time I've had that. But it was a great trip. That
Just
on
think
that
a
trip.
shark does that in reverse. He bites the surfer's leg and then he throws the surfer back.
Yeah, kind of, but I'm still not on board with you. That was the trip. I remember going to the Irish pub and watching the Champions League final. It was when Liverpool played AC Milan in Istanbul in 2005 when they won it. And I was watching it with a couple of Finnish people, and I they didn't have, because I still drunk lager at the time, but they didn't have lager in this pub, it was an Irish pub, so they had Murphy's Stout, and I'd tried Guinness at Flowey's 18th. Stu had got a pint of Guinness, and I tried it and did not like it at all. I tried Murphy's in this Irish pub in Barcelona, liked it, and had that for the rest of the evening, from what I can remember, and yeah.
So, I was going to say, great way to finish this is to tell everyone how much of a hero you actually are. Is on that trip, I was about...
No, yeah.
20,
I was going to say, where are you going with this?
I was about, 20 shots deep at this point. I could not walk.
At the very least, yeah. At one point, I've got a photo of you with a bucket next to you in that same Irish pub.
Yeah, I could not walk, and...
You're not drinking absinthe?
Yeah, I was fucking... whatever alcohol I could get hold of on that trip that I was on. But I couldn't walk, as we know. And what some people might not be aware of is back in 2005, 2004, when you were walking up the main street,
La
Ramblas, there was lots of ladies of the night on the street, and basically decided to try and pull me down an alley when I couldn't walk, stealing my watch, and and Andy managed to pull me back from them as they were trying to steal my wallet and my watch, and my phone at the time. I could not walk, I was literally unconscious, and they were just going to rob me. And you managed to...
You were lucky I was there.
You're lucky you were there to look after me, because I was literally seconds away from being totally mugged.
Yep.
And completely, not within it. So I love you, man. Thank you for helping me not get mugged that night.
My pleasure.
But obviously, as we're signing off tonight, guys, obviously, thank you again for listening to episode 2. We appreciate all the support that we've had. Again, Shona, Bill, man, you're a legend. Love you.
Is he coming good?
He's meant to be. We actually should see Bill in the next few minutes, hopefully.
Nice.
And yeah, Laura, I love you, babe. Thank you for all the support. And hopefully we'll see you guys in episode 3.
See ya.